My brother. Welcome,
Yes, sir.
welcome everyone. It's hey, you know what day it is? It's the Devo and Kris Joe show day. It's Wednesday,
Yes,
10 to 11.
sir.
You know what time it is. Real quick before we
Yes,
get going,
sir.
Joe, I just want to shout out our unbelievable sponsor. Flintstone Cannabis Company, right there down the street from Galaxy, actually on Walnut. Go there if you need to, man. It's Christmas time. I know you got family coming up. I know you, Joe. I know everyone got that one uncle or that one auntie or that one cousin that are gonna sneak outside after eating a good meal and just
And
do
take a
what they
little
do.
walk.
It take a little walk, man. So you know what y'all need to do. Tell them to go to Flintstone, man. Go get you some. Take care of your business. Take care of your family, and it's a good Christmas gift. You know what I mean? Again, to each his own. I don't know if you indulge or not. If you do, you know where to go. Shout out to
Hey,
Flintstone, man.
guess what? At the end of the day, the Christmas tree, the only thing that's lit up on Christmas Day.
Yo, that's hey Joe, man. I'm glad to be here, man. And again, appreciate all the people that are tuning in for us every Wednesday. We appreciate your loyalty and support. And I know we haven't talked about it a lot, but get your sprinkle on. It's the holiday season. Is it the bits? Sprinkle some bits on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sprinkle the bits, sprinkle the
That's a
bits.
Hey Joe, we're gonna have a great show. We'll obviously talk about Oregon and break that down. I know they play Niagara tomorrow. I'm actually doing the broadcast for the game on ACC Network,
Yes,
so
sir.
I always enjoy doing that. But I kind of wanted to start, Joe, just for sharing some of our holiday memories. You know what I mean? At Q's, at home, whatever it is. I know people got rituals they do with their families or whatever it is, and I figured it's almost Christmas, so let's
Yep.
share some of those. And I'm gonna go first because we talked about this off air.
Yep.
And it's a feel good story. I mean, it started out as me fucking up. You know what I mean? That's how I wasn't able to spend time with my family on Christmas. But I forget what year it was, Joe. I think it was 2008, 2009, right?
Yep, 0809.
08, 09. So you know me, my dumb ass got in trouble, suspended right during the Christmas break. It was I think who did I get suspended for? Well, the one game I got suspended, Andy broke it was a 3-point record, right? That
Yeah.
one game, Coppin State maybe or something, in Memphis.
Yeah, you missed
And,
Memphis over there. Yep, they had Tyreek Evans.
but you guys blew him out. I remember that. Johnny
Yeah, we
Flynn.
beat their ass.
Ooh, he was in his bag
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was kind of like a memory that really stuck out to me because I had to stay home. You know what I mean? Everyone got to go home, I had to stay in Cuse. Everyone else got to go home. And I had to do work with the Salvation Army. I was in the soup kitchen. I was
Yeah.
handing out food during Christmas and Christmas Eve, which now that I look back, I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for that experience because I think it's really led me into a lot of the stuff that I do now with the community as far as,
100%.
turkey drives. And so it was that right there, Joe, we could say was kind of the start of me changing my mind. So we turned a negative into a positive, you know what I mean? But I
Tenfold.
remember being in there, man, and it was some characters in there. I'll tell you that. But
You had the hearing that?
I had the hairnet. I had Rick Jackson hoodie on, the yellow joint. Like I was in there a mess. I was but grateful for the opportunity to be able to serve others and help others,
Yes, sir.
and just like communicate with the people who were up there who were working with me. A lot of different families were coming up there and volunteering, and obviously at that time, I was a familiar face. And hey, Devo, what are you doing up here? Well, it's a long story. We don't really got to get into it, right? But I'm in the back. I'm getting the food prepared. I'm putting up cans and getting desserts ready and all that. And it was Christmas, and boom, I get a call on my phone, and I look at my phone and say, Montreal, Quebec. Yeah, only one fucking person I know from Montreal, Quebec. It's my guy Kris Joe calling me on Christmas Day, just wishing me a Merry Christmas and making sure I was good. Because during that time, Joe, just to be honest, like it was tough for me because I remember at first when I did get in trouble, just being in Coach Boeheim office, all the guys who were kind of helping me out, Will and Greer and all them, they got into it, but it was a point in time where I didn't know if I was going to be playing again, man, for Syracuse. Like
Right.
we were, we had options, on the table of, hey, E, we might just have to go shoot overseas right now and drop out of school or whatever it might be. And it ended up working out, how it did. But, during that time, man, I was feeling really lonely, bro. Like even though I know
Yeah.
you guys supported me, but me just being in my own head and the mistake that I made, it put me in a lonely position. And then especially not being able to go home with my family, because just to be real, Joe, like during those 4 years or however, you don't really go home for any holidays. So like
Real
even
talk.
Thanksgiving or Christmas, like we really, like, I don't remember a
Get a
time we
day
even
and a
went home
half,
for
maybe.
Christmas. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? You maybe 2 days, and if you over on the West Coast, you might as well say fuck it. You got to stay at the crib. You got to stay. You got to stay at the Q's. But that phone call, bro, man, that shit, it made me so happy. Just knowing when somebody thinking about you, you know what I'm saying, and especially on a
Yep.
day like that when you're supposed to be with your family, you're supposed to be with your loved ones and your friends, and
100%.
I was with I was in a different situation. Like we talked about, it worked out. But man, I tell you what, man, and I said this today on IG, on Instagram, man. That right there in that situation, that was like my old self. You know what I'm saying? Like doing all the dumbass shit. But like
Hmm.
it's something happened to me, bro. With like when I after that phone call, and it made me realize like. And this is what I said. You got to shed a lot of your old self. Like every day, we shed layers of our old self, like to try to be able to
Hmm.
become a better person and a new person, right? And a lot of times, like that shit hurt. Like that shit is uncomfortable, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
uncertainty to it. But like having that phone call, like it made me realize, like, damn, regardless of all the dumb shit I do, like I still got people there who care about me and support me, and I think that allowed me, bro, to really continue with my growth as a person. I'm still there every day because trying to grow and get better. And
That's
bro, I know
continuous.
like it's a lifelong thing, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
times what people do, like they get scared of like the new opportunities and new experiences and really like stay back into their old self and don't let go of all the old habits and the old shit that
Because it's
is really
comfortable.
holding them. Yeah, it really exactly is, but that's really holding them back for some new shit. But I know like to be able to like experience new opportunities and grow for yourself, you got to have an open heart and an open mind and be able to shed those old layers, so to speak, like all the fear and uncomfortable and uneasy and uncertainty. Like you got to
Yeah.
go through that shit. And that was a time for me when I was really going through that shit. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of uncomfortable being in there, like, not knowing anybody and just seeing people come up to
Hmm.
you. That shit made me uncomfortable, man. But
Yep.
like, after that phone call really, it allowed me to get outside of myself and be like, yo, you got some shit you got to work on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some shit that you got to focus on. And if you want to be a better person and grow as a person, you got to start right fucking now, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if we keep going back to the old shit, Joe, it's just like this, man. We going in a
That's
fucking
that
circle.
revolving door. You're gonna end up in the
It,
same spot at some point. You think you're
so
getting
man,
somewhere, but really you're not.
that's exactly, bro. And it just right back to phase one. So I guess, I say all that to say, like, thank you to you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? For
Oh
doing
man.
that. Cause that one little thing could start a whole new thing for you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
that really helped
And
me
that
out,
was
man.
just me. That was me just checking in on my brother for real. Because exactly what you said. Like I'm home with my family. I know you're not. And at the end of the day, like you mentioned, we don't get much time to go back home. In our time there. So imagine if you stay 4 years at school, you damn near maybe went home once for the holidays, maybe. You know what I mean? So just calling you and letting you know that I was there thinking about you and wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. Although at the time it probably wasn't so merry for you. Just me calling you, just me calling you and letting you know what I'm saying, that we'll be back on campus in a minute. Family will be back soon, bro. And we'll be back, kicking it, playing 2K or Madden, whatever it is that we used to do on South Campus, man. So very much welcome for that, my brother.
No doubt. And Joe, I want you to, I guess, share one of your favorite Christmas moments in the Q's, or leading up to Christmas? Like, was it a special game? Was it a game that you were able to go back? Like, that time you were able to go back home. I know that was a super special Christmas for you, being with the family, because, like you said, we don't get to go home a lot and share that time with our family. So kind of give me, some memories you have during this time being at Q's.
I think it was my sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. We had played, I want to say, Iona near Christmas, and we had a maybe I think we got 2 days where we had to be back either on Christmas night or the 26th, because we had practice in the afternoon. But mind you, I had been gone to school in DC for 2 years, right, in high school. So no one was really I didn't go home for the holidays then. Then I got the Q's. I don't think I went home my first year. And then finally my second year, I was able to make that trek. Matter of fact, I did go home my first year, because that's when I called you. But that second year was special. Right after that game, I just had a great game against Iona. I hit the road. Luckily it's a 3.5, 4 hours max drive, depending on the weather, especially around that time. I got my man Griff Hoffman to let me hold the Jeep for the weekend or for a couple of days.
You was trucking.
I was out.
You was good. That's big wheels. You straight.
That was good. I'm gonna shout out to Griff. And that was good. That was special for my family. You know what I mean? Because now my nephews at the time and nieces, who think the world of me, who see me on TV, think I'm a superstar of some sort. I come home, the love was just, it was immense. You know what I mean? I think my brother was able to come home for that Christmas as well, which he has been doing his own thing. At that point, he was at Vermont, and he hadn't been home in a while. So it's just for the family to be together. My brother and my two sisters under the same roof for the first time in some years. That was special. You know what I mean? We don't understand how much playing this sport takes away from those little special moments in our lives.
A lot of sacrifice.
Especially if you go on to play past college, which a lot of these young guys will. You'll find yourself missing birthdays. You'll find yourself missing weddings. You'll find yourself missing a whole bunch of things that otherwise you would be home for. And you sometimes feel guilty, or you feel a way about missing these big events. Although people understand, you still want to be there. There was countless times where I wanted to be home for certain things, but it's like, shit, I'm over here. We have practice. We have games. I can't just up and leave. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? Which leads me to my next point. So again, that was a special moment for me. My sophomore year, everybody was able to be home for the holidays. Which leads me to my next point of here at McGill University, the break that these guys get is about 2 weeks long. There's no games during this period. I found that to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like,
yeah.
all we get is 48 hours, 45 hours, whatever it may be. And like you said, if you're on the West Coast, you might as well chalk it up, because you're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So just the difference, I'm like, 2 weeks, and some of them felt like that wasn't enough, talking to a couple of the kids there. And I was just like, trust me, that's more than enough time. You know what I'm saying?
More than enough.
And for the most part, a lot of guys that are at the school are from the area. So you go back home every night anyway. You don't stay on campus there. You know what I'm saying? There's no camp. You go to practice, you go to school, and you go back. You might have to take public transport to get back to your crib, maybe 45 minutes, an hour, but you see your family every day. And now you get 2 weeks off and you're with them. That's a blessing that they don't understand, that anywhere else is not like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that was cool. Another Christmas story that I have was, I used to take the bus at times if I didn't have a car or anything like that to go, back home. And I think it was my junior year, I took the bus, which from Syracuse to Montreal, it makes all these weird stops in between Schenectady, Albany, Utica. Yeah. It's stopping everywhere, bro.
That Greyhound,
everywhere. Yeah, that Greyhound. Yep. And the bus, goddamn, mind you, driving takes 3 hours, 3.5 to 4. Taking the bus takes like 10 to 11 hours. You catch an express that gets you there in 8, you're happy.
Hey, Joe, you might find some characters on that motherfucking bus. I found a motherfucker, he put 9 blankets over top 2 seats, and that motherfucker basically was like, this my shit. Go ahead, I just had to say, Greyhound the motherfucker.
Greyhounds are crazy. And so on the way back, I timed it perfectly. Although, Mother Nature sometimes have different plans, and I'm going back, and it's a snowstorm, it's delays, all type of shit. And we had to be back Christmas night because we had practice. So I take the bus. I can't do much but be on it. I'm on my way to Cuse. I get back to Cuse at 2 a.m. and Murph steady calling me, texting me, where you at? I'm like, yo, Murph, I'm still on this bus. Like, there's nothing really I could do about it. He's like, all right. So when I get to the station, in Cuse, I forget which manager it was that picked me up. I'm thinking I'm going back to South Campus, bro. I go to the Mellow Center. I'm like, yo, where are we going? He's like, yeah, Murph, the manager's sometimes scared to say what's going on. And he's like, yeah, Murph told me to drop you at the Mellow Center because you have a workout. I'm like, God, yo, I've been on the bus 12 hours or more. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, bro. I'm dead tired. And Murph said, nah, fuck it. You going to get this workout. You miss practice, you're going to make sure you work out and then come to practice tomorrow. So, you know what I'm saying? That was another story that was crazy. I got back, bro. I had to work out from like 2 to 3:30. And I'm talking about by yourself, there's no break. There's no breaks and reps. Everything.
It wasn't like the old Herd workout.
Two dribble work. Heard full court layups. I'm talking about
that motherfucker throwing that bitch ahead.
Throwing that bitch. Bro.
You like, damn, Herd, that bitch out of bounds. Fuck you mean, man? I was gonna fuck motherfucker. Go get it.
Like, yo, Murph, you serious, bro? Yeah. So he was serious, and then he wanted me to take a picture with the Shut It Down T-shirt and shit. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. He wanted me to do some shit. I'm like, damn, dog.
Come on, dog.
Shout out to my man Murph, though. You know what I'm saying? That was funny, and that's when I knew I would never take the bus again. If I can't drive, I ain't doing it.
That's a fact. There's a lot of shit you can't control on that motherfucking bus. I tell you that.
I'm telling you.
Well, shout out Greyhound though. If you want to come on as a sponsor, we'll definitely give you some good reviews. We just tell you our experiences. You know what I mean?
You could the Amtrak. If we get the Amtrak commercial, you might as well take the Amtrak. There's no delays on the Amtrak.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out Amtrak. Shout out to Amtrak. Hey man, and then I know this year for you, Joe, it's going to be another really special Christmas because it's baby girl. It's her first Christmas, and just being there with her and the fam, and your son and your other daughter. That's going to be special for you too, man. So yeah, shout out to baby girl, man. I know that's big.
Will be a very special Christmas.
Oh yeah, hey, yo, Joe. A lot of Mariah Carey, a lot of Boys and Men playing in the background. That's just real shit.
Let it snow.
That's just Christmas. You know what I mean? If you guys want to sign us up, we come in. We definitely speak at events that we do. You know what I mean? Little shit like that, and where my man just harmonizing and shit. You know what I mean? We do all that shit. Hey, Joe. Let's get to the game a little bit. I want to talk about the Oregon game. Obviously, it was Sunday. Besides the first probably 6 to 8 minutes, Hughes pretty much dominated the game, man. And shout out, I think we've been talking about Kyle Cuff, and we know he can provide that spark. It just hasn't happened, but it fucking happened Sunday. You know what I mean? And he was the guy that I guess he really got SU out of that rut, came in and hit a couple threes, got to the basket. I think he had 8 points in I don't know how many minutes, but that right there kind of started the progress going forward. And then from then on, they really dominated the rest of the game. And what I'm really loving to see, because we know the offense is there. They got the talent. We'll get into the breakdown of all the guys, but defensively is really what I'm seeing, bro. And I'm impressed with it. Just the rotations, being active. Guys look like they're having fun. They're talking to each other, and that's a big piece. So we know that if they could connect defensively on the defensive end and communicate and get those rotations right, and then keep guys in front of them, bro. I mean, shit. 9-3, I think, going into ACC play, saying, I'm picking them to win tomorrow against Niagara. But this is a team who it seems to be they're coming together on both ends of the floor. Obviously they still got shit to work at the right fucking time. But tell me what you saw in that Oregon game, and what really impressed you, and maybe a few things that you think they need to work on.
Well, yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we came out, it was slow. Oregon was playing some funky shit, boxing one, like triangle and two, damn near sometimes. The matchup zone, it was funky. So the game was kind of slowed up, and they got on their run early. But again, that bench, that bench came in and gave us a spark that we needed. You know, with Cuff leading the charge, leading the way, like you said, he hit that three. What I liked when Cuff first got the ball on the right wing, I think it was the first time he sniffed it, he shot it. And to me, that just shows just the confidence that he has in himself, but also that's a shot that you take when you know the staff has been telling you to take those type of shots and they have confidence in you as well. You're not coming off the bench and shooting the first ball that you touch, bro. That just doesn't really happen. But I think that's just something where either that's in him, where he believes in himself that much, and also the staff and his teammates urging him to shoot the ball more and knowing that the bench productivity has to be, increased. You know what I mean? So he took that first shot, and I knew at that point, I'm like, okay. Some people might look at that shot and be like, what the fuck is he doing? But I'm looking at that like, nah, that was a shot that he was comfortable taking, and I'm sure that they are comfortable with him taking, which led him to making those 2 threes, a good rhythm step back 3, and then, he had that fast break dunk where he could have passed to Judah, but he said, nah, let me go ahead and get me some. Went up there, 2-hand slam. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at it either. You know what I'm saying? I might not be out here for as long as you, Playboy. Let me get my 2. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So,
and shout out to Red, too, man.
Good.
Shout out to Red.
Shout out Red.
I think you made a good point there. Shout out to Red for just giving these guys the confidence to go out there and play, regardless if they're coming off the bench, if they're starting. I mean, I think that's, especially nowadays, man, like we talked about it a lot. Kids are different. You know what I mean? They're a little bit more emotional. They're a little bit more like, they don't want to be really critiqued because they're taking it personally. You know what I mean? So it has to be a different approach that you got to take as a coach. And I think Red's doing a great job because it's different. You even see with like the substitution pattern. You know what I mean? He's giving guys a little bit more of a leash to go ahead and play and make a mistake, which I like. At the same time, sometimes you got to get a motherfucker up out of there. But I do like what he's doing as far as feeding these guys confidence, bro. Because
for sure, bro, for sure. Hey, speaking of which, great video of Coach Kyle that I seen speaking on the young fella. I forgot. I don't even know how to say his last name. But he's one of Dillingham, and how he was saying where, listen, when you got a talent like him, you don't try to restrain him and keep him caged up. So he said that he gives him 2 kind of like, he makes these plays where, sometimes to the regular eye or to maybe other old school coaches maybe not like what he's doing, where he might go through the legs twice and try to throw a no-look pass or whatever it is, or a step back jumper over 2 defenders. But he could make those shots. So Coach Kyle was saying, I give him 2 of those. If he misses 2, then you got to come out. So it's good that you're putting parameters around the kid, but still giving him that freedom where I know I can rock out. I got 2 of these. It's on me now. I got 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? But if I make the first, that might give me 2 more. And, that's how you keep going. And you keep building the kid's confidence and increasing his flow. I think basketball is all about flow. And you got to imagine that kids that are this talented at this level, we're talking ACC, so obviously Syracuse and all the rest of the ACC, you're talking about Kansas, Kentucky. You go to these schools, bro, there's probably 4s and probably more 4-stars, but 4 and 5 stars out there on the floor. And what made them these 4 and 5-star players is exactly that, the flow that they have within their game. Yes, you want to groom their game as they get to you, because you know what it's going to take for them to get to the next level, and you know what it is for them to play at this level. So you're not going to let them get away with the same stuff they did in high school. But at the same time, you got to still groom them the right way and allow them to express themselves through the game, bro. And that's what it's all about. The game is an art form. And if you have a flow, if you have, if your game is I'm playing off the dribble and I can make shots and that's my rhythm, like if a guy's coming off and he likes to lean a little bit off his one dribble, yes, you want to try to teach him straight up, straight down. But if his flow is I lean a bit when I shoot, but it's going in, you don't really want to mess with that type of stuff. So I think letting the kid, and again, back to Red, shout out to Red for letting these guys come in and have that confidence to do what it is they feel that, they're good at. And you could tell when you have a coach like that, it just makes things a lot better. So again, Cuff coming in and helping us out. You had QC coming in there. And I think just his defensive presence, there was a time where he went rogue and went to the basket, try to create something, and, nothing happened. Verticality or the hands are straight up, nothing happened. But defensively,
we'll live with that. That's his shit. That's his game. We like you just talk about. We're going to let you live.
We'll live with it. And but what I see immediately with him when he comes in, and listeners, viewers, understand that it's not easy coming off the bench. There's a huge responsibility. Starting is a responsibility too, but to come off the bench now, what you're expected to do when you come off the bench is to make sure that the game doesn't dip. If anything, you got to keep it the same, or you got to increase the way it's going, right? You can't let it dip, because then it's your fault, whether you're up or you're down. If you make things worse, it looks bad on you. So the responsibility of coming into the game off the bench is crazy. So for him to come in, what I see with QC is his defensive presence, bro. Like he's there, he's
Facts.
active, he's moving his feet. He created a couple turnovers. I think there was, he was sliding. Dude threw the ball away. Judah actually got the steal, but it started with the defensive presence of QC. And then, of course, Malik Brown came in, Benny came in, and I think my overall thing, what I saw was we were engaged, bro. Like, we looked like we wanted to play. We were there. Facts. We wanted to win. We didn't look to take, you're going to fuck up every so often, miss a defensive assignment, give up a three. That's basketball. And they're a good team, so they're going to find little holes in your defense no matter what. Right? You just can't let it happen multiple times. But I think just the fact that we were so engaged, that's what I saw. That was a big difference from the time that the bench came in. The bench boosted what was going on and boosted the energy. Your 3 E's, E. Energy, effort, enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying? And that energy went way up when that bench came in. They were engaged. And I think that's obviously after that slow start, that's where the game changed.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you mentioned the bench, 44 bench points, bro. I mean, we've been talking about how deep we could go the whole year. I mean, 44 bench points. I don't give a fuck who you are. I mean, that's impressive, bro. Everybody came to play. Everybody was ready, and it started off like we talked about with Cuff really setting the tone off the bench, coming in, being confident, and then a guy like Quadar, he's a guy, like you said, starts on the defensive end with his energy. He's already an energy guy. That's what kind of he thrives off, is that, bringing that energy, 6'7", being able to guard multiple positions. Now he gets a deflection, gets a steal. Now they're headed out the other way. And he's a guy offensively, like when he gets it, I like too what Red's been doing is getting him in that little high post area, because now he could catch, turn, and it just doesn't, it's not a lot of room for error because you're so close to the rim from that free throw line. So now you can just give him a jab, go, and really it's one reaction. So if he cuts you off, you seen him hit him with that spin a couple of times and then go left. And he's a very gifted passer, bro, and he does a good job of finding people and getting in that lane.
I like it.
I like him. If he gets a jump shot, I'm telling you, bro. Tell me if I'm wrong. He kind of remind me of a Sean Livingston type. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean Livingston was long, lanky. He was crafty. He brought the ball up. Sean Livingston was cold.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he was. Chad, one of the coldest, bro.
And people don't even know him pre-injury. I don't even know if some people know he got injured and what he endured to have to come back and be what he was.
That was a crazy injury.
Crazy.
And he came back and still balled out. He kind of like switched his game up like on some old man shit, but he was so smart that he knew how to do that. You know what I'm saying? But like Quadir, I think, man, bro, sky's the limit for him. He work on that jump shot. Like he definitely gonna, and obviously control, right? Being able to have that control, and he's been getting better at that, and that's allowed him to make better reads and better decisions. Bro, I want to real quick. We'll look at the stats right here. From the Oregon game. Again, we started off slow, but after that 10-minute mark, guys were locked in, ready to go. Like first half, shot 40% from the field. Second half, we come out and shoot 73%, 19 for 26, bro, 56 overall in the game. We mentioned the 44 bench points. But one thing that sticks out, obviously, that we got to fix is 19 turnovers. That's a whole lot of fucking turnovers. It was 19 turnovers between both, or for Syracuse and Oregon. So fucking almost 40 turnovers in the game. It was a time in the game where you're like, God damn, this shit is sloppy as fuck. One team will turn it over, and then the other team will turn it over back. I mean, that happened on a few occasions. But just going down the roster, bro, and we'll start with Kyle Cuff, a guy, like we said, hasn't really been getting a lot of time, but 14 minutes, 3 for 4 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3-point line. eight points in 14 minutes. He's a guy who really started it off, and we talked about Quadir, but a guy, bro, that obviously we talk about him, but doesn't get a lot of, I guess, the recognition that I think he deserves. He's been getting some. We've been talking about it, but Malik Brown, bro, 26 minutes,
sure.
6 for 8 from the field. He only had 2 rebounds, but and again, this game was as our team Syracuse, we love to play like this, and so does Oregon. So really, it worked in our favor because both teams like to play fast, but we're just better overall as far as talent. And Oregon doesn't do a good job of guarding. You could see in the beginning when they went to a fucking box and one, you already knew they couldn't fucking guard doing that off the top. When Coach Boeheim always used to tell me, he's like, when you see these guys fucking switching defenses and all this shit, guess what that means? They can't fucking play it. That's what it means. You know what I'm saying? So I remember Coach Boeheim saying that. But again, a guy like Malik Brown, bro.
4 steals, too. No sleep. He got them quick hands. That boy,
quick hands, bro. Bro, just a guy, and again, a guy who could switch the pick and rolls. He can guard the guards. You know what I mean? He does a good job of pressing up and having active hands. And then on the other hand, he just got good hands regardless. Like, he's always around the basket. He's a great finisher around the rim. He excels in running the floor and getting out in transition. We've seen that putback dunk that he had. Always around the rim. Talk to me a little bit about Malik Brown. And, I think it was slow during the beginning of the year, but now we're really starting to see, what he's capable of and what we saw, later in the freshman year.
Well, it's funny because Griff came in here talking about they want him to be more assertive and be a little bit more aggressive, but him finishing with 13, 4 steals, 2 rebounds, like 1 block, he's filling the stat sheet. And of course, you don't see what the deflections are, but I would love to know his deflection numbers per game because he gets a ton of those.
For real,
his activity for us is like he's the key. Benny been my X factor for a number of years now, but Malik is my new X factor that's going to be able to change games for us. Obviously, QC as well, but Malik, him being present and doing what he does, especially him not starting. And again, a lot of people want to start, bro, and you could pout and you could do, I'm sure Malik believes he could start. I'm sure that he believes he could be starting. You know what I mean? I'm sure QC believes there's times where he might be looking, and this is nothing against your teammates, bro. I'm just saying what it is to be in it in real time, where you might look at a stat sheet and be like, the fuck, over the last 3 games, I'm doing XYZ better than my man, but like, that's my man, but I'm doing better. So why aren't I starting? You could start to question the decisions that coaches are making, but when everything is clicking, you don't mess with something that's working, right? So how things are right now is hard as it should be. Now, if things start going south and we start losing, 4 games, 5 game losing streak, that's when you want to make changes. But when things are going well, no changes should be made. So I hope that everybody on this roster believes that they are where they're supposed to be for the betterment of the team at the moment. But back to Malik. Him being able to do what he does for us is big. In 26 minutes, just be able to fill the stat sheet. We're going to need that for the whole year. And again, we're entering ACC play very shortly. And this is something that he's going to have to be consistent in and just keep embracing this role that he's in and keep bringing that same energy because we need it, especially off the bench. It's tough to have someone off the bench, you going against a second unit, their second unit, but you really are a starter in your head. So you might be going against a worse defender, and that's going to benefit you regardless. So that's how he should be looking at it, as that instead of anything else. Just look at it as, I'm going to be going against a worse defender probably of their second unit, and I'm a starter in my mind. You know what I mean? So shout out to Malik.
Facts, perspective, bro, and that's the coach's job, really, to break it down to him just how you did, because egos do come into play. And let's just be real. You start having a good game coming off the bench, motherfuckers from back home texting you like, man, this motherfucker's still starting. You should have been starting. And when that ego come in, like it could really cloud your judgment, and that is detrimental to the team, bro. Like you fill in that role that we need you to play. This, like you said, this is what's working.
But you know what?
I mean?
Speaking on that, I seen a clip where Red was talking to them after the game, giving everybody their praise. He spoke about Kai, he spoke about Benny. But what he said that stuck out to me was don't let anybody break what we have going on in this locker room. Like, that's all that matters, is who's
No
in this
doubt.
locker room. Because him being a player, as well as having his experiences as a player, having his experiences as a coach, dealing with parents as an assistant. Why is my son not playing? Or players, why am I not playing? Why? He knows how it can get. So him saying and reiterating, listen, fellas, we can't let anything outside of this locker room break up what we have going on right now. We're on our way. You know what I'm saying? We're on our way to do great things. Let's just make sure we stay connected. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good teaching point right there for the young fellas.
Hey, bro, real quick, man, and this is for me, like, when you get to the college level, especially at this level, high level Syracuse, as a coach, and you tell me, because you in that position right now. I mean, not Syracuse, but you in a position where you probably have to deal with some parents and shit. Look, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? If a parent coming, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, like, this ain't fucking middle school and high school no more, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's not
if this
AAU.
motherfucker not playing, Red getting paid over $1 million to make decisions. Man, sit the fuck down. That parent, what the fuck you could complain to your motherfucking family at Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make a phone call to, man, you should be fucking embarrassed for yourself, man. For real, you should be embarrassed, man. And what you really doing is fucking up your kid. Cause now every time I come and see your kid, I'm thinking of your dumb ass calling my phone at I'm the head coach of fucking Syracuse. For real, man. Like, it comes to a time, like, man, just fall the fuck back and let you. That's one thing, like, I respected about my mom and dad. Like, they didn't know the game crazy. They knew it from watching me. You know what I'm saying? But they never got in the way of that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now Coach Will and Greer, like, all right, boom, that was a different story. Like, these motherfuckers, you know how that is. That's just how that shit go. But, man, my parents would never fucking, go in and coach Bayhine. Man, my dad would probably have slapped himself in the face thinking, like, you know what I'm saying, doing that dumbass shit. So like, tell me your take on that, Joe, and have you had to deal with it with any circumstances like that?
The AAU level, you deal with that. You got parents wondering why my kid's not playing, and
but not this level, Joe.
No. Like, this level, you don't want to do that, man. Like, I personally I have kids coming to the office wondering what could I do to play more. And, I'm going to keep it a bean with you every time. Listen.
Facts.
I'm not an analytics dude, but just look at these things right here. You know what I'm saying? You average the most turnovers in this amount of minutes. Like, that's not going to help the team. So you got to just keep getting better. There's no secret sauce to this shit, bro. Work hard. Work harder. If you want to play, work harder. Give the coach a reason to play. And believe me, young fellas, the reason you play more will not ever be your parents giving a call. Ever.
That's going to fuck you up.
That's never going to be the way that you get on the court more. How you get on the court more is showing up every day to practice, ready to work, making sure coaches see you putting in extra work before and after practice, coming in, get your IQ sessions in, watching film. You know what I'm saying? Like, do these little things. That's what's going to help you. Anything else is not. You know what I'm saying? This shit, your parents don't know what you go through on a day-to-day outside of what you tell them. You know what I'm saying? That you could tell them you're not playing, but do you tell them how shitty you were in practice all week? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the reality of the situation, bro. Your parents are never going to be the answer.
No, that's a fact. Let's go back to the players real quick, bro. We mentioned Benny, and obviously Benny, he's been struggling this year with, off the court stuff. But we know how talented this kid is. We know if he's engaged, and we've been using that word engaged a lot because, bro, that's one thing you need to have as a fucking athlete. You have to be engaged and locked in and be present in the moment. And that's with life in general, right? If you want to get the most out of anything, you got to be where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Wherever your feet is, like, boom, this is where you got to be. You got to be present. So, but, Benny's a guy, when he's engaged and locked in, he can make a fucking difference. I mean, 18 minutes. He didn't miss a shot. He's 4 for 4. He has 3 rebounds, 8 points, 2 assists, and 2 turnovers. But again, like, we don't know what he's going through mentally. But we do know that if he's locked in and he's engaged, he's one of the most athletic dudes on the court. He's one of the fastest dudes on the court. He could really make a difference for this Syracuse basketball team on both ends of the floor, just getting up and down, having that pace, and then defensively, being around the basket, rebounding the basketball. And when he's engaged and locked in, he's proven that, bro. Like you said, he was one of your X factors. I mean, obviously other guys have stepped up, but what can this team, how much better, I guess I would say, can this team be if you get a locked in, engaged Benny Williams?
Oh my God, bro! The sky's the limit, literally, for this team. If we could get an engaged Benny who's willing to sacrifice for his teammates and his basketball team, the staff, if he's willing to put ego and pride aside and do what it takes for this team to win, except like the team is it could go places. You know what I mean? Because again, like you mentioned, he's 6'8". You see him punching the ball in the rim. He's looking in the rim when he dunked that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
Like he damn near has Wesley Johnson athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? The way he dunked that ball on that break, that look. West was had a 42 or 40, like different. 42 vert. But
that shit was
that
different.
dunk Benny had on the break, that was tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But an engaged Benny, being aggressive to the basket, running the floor, catching oops. He got 4 easy points, bro. Just think about it. Just off of a steal, running, getting a dunk. Another opportunity, Judah throws him the lob. He kind of misses his foot and he doesn't flush it how he wants to, but the ball goes in. Those are the type of plays that he can make for us on a nightly basis. And going into the ACC, bro, when wins are gonna, they matter now, but we know how important wins are gonna be during conference play. You know what I mean? Like, that's the Benny that we need to see. Engaged, happy to be there, not sitting on the bench yawning. We want to see him clapping it up for his teammates, being excited for his teammates. And I think that we were able to see that. And of course, when you're winning and everybody's getting a piece of the pie, as you could see through the, outside of Chris Bell and Justin Taylor, everybody else was pretty solid and did what they were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing everybody excited on the bench, smiling, clapping, that's what it is. And I think if we could have Benny be that way for the rest of the season, again, like you mentioned, we don't know what he's going through mentally, if there's anything going on at all. And if there is, I hope that he's continuously getting the help that he needs and talking to the people that he needs to talk to. But we need to see, and that was like a snippet of what Benny could be for us, obviously.
Right.
Like a little snippet, bro. Like, we could have that times two. Those, like, he could average easily like 14 points a game in the ACC, just doing the little things. And the little things is just running the floor. Do you know how many points I stole, bro, just running? It used to be a foot race. Me, Trish, Jason. I said Jason, James. I'm just trying, because I know Scoop is going to throw that ball out ahead to whoever's there. You know what I'm saying? When it was me and West foot race, stealing points. All you got to do is run. And I know these guys are in shape because I know my man Kabili got him right.
Got him right.
So, yeah, that's what we got to continue doing, man. Shout out to Benny. I liked what he did. I was happy to see him, again, engaged and involved with what was going on. And I hope to see more of that for him.
Yeah, and it just gives us more versatility, more, within the lineup. We could change lines up, have guys, be in different spots, and it just gives us more options, man, more shit to work with, and that's never that's never a bad thing. You mentioned those two guys, Justin Taylor and Chris Bell, haven't been shooting the ball well lately, and but there are two guys that we know are more than capable. I mean, they both had some great games this year, and we know that we need them to be able to be a complete team and to be able to be the best that we can be. I think for me, and right now, even at the Oregon game, we having so many guys that come in and stepping up and playing well that it really didn't matter, that they didn't score the ball. But I tell you what, and we talked about this off air, Joe, you go into that motherfucking ACC play, teams start putting you in that half court more, because it's going to happen. Yeah, we excel like this. We want to play like that. Yeah. But you start getting into those Virginias again. We've seen it already. We've seen it at Virginia and what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? North Carolina's, Dukes. They're going to start limited to you in those transition opportunities, and they're going to start, hey, shout, okay, that's what's up.
Hey, motherfucker, put me some effects.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
This
he fucking
motherfucker wild,
fireworks.
man.
Hey,
Damn. All right.
god damn, JC.
Yo. But when we get into ACC play and they start putting us in that half court, how important really does Justin and Chris Bell become? Because, bro, to allow Judah and JJ and guys to be able to get into those driving lanes, we need guys to hit shots, man. And those
Yeah,
two guys, I mean, are probably the best two shooters on the team. We seen JJ. He's starting to shoot the ball better. I know JJ, or
love it.
excuse me, Judah is capable as well. But those two guys in particular are the floor spacers. You know what I mean, for us. And what I'm seeing right now from Justin, just a little bit tentative. You know what I mean, not being as assertive as he probably should be. I don't think Bell ever has a problem with putting up a shot. That motherfucker loves shooting the
Nah,
ball. You know what I mean, ain't no problem. Shout out to C Bell. I mean, but those two guys, man, we need those guys engaged and locked in, because I'm telling you, come ACC play, when we start playing in that half court, we got to have movement, we got to have execution, and we got to have guys spacing the floor to allow Judah and JJ to be able to get downhill, continue to get downhill.
yeah,
If Judah still wants to get to that free throw line 10 plus times a game, because I'm going to be just a fact is, if they're not hitting shots like that, it's going to be 10 times tougher to be able to get in those lanes and really play how
yeah.
we want to play.
Yep, I agree. JJ got to keep making shots. I seen at one point they kind of sagged off him and gave him to Rondo, and he knocked it down on the left, like he was on the left slot. I think it was his first three. They kind
Yeah,
of like backed up off him and forced him to shoot it. And that to me is a kid who has confidence, and it's building beautifully, because if I'm shooting 9% and I let that get to my head, and I know he's not shooting 9% today because he hit a couple last game as well,
right.
but before that, like, damn, they leaving me this open. You start questioning yourself, but his confidence is growing. His belief in himself, I believe, is back. And because he shot that shit like, oh, you guys tripping. You guys gonna let me shoot this shot? Bet.
Facts.
Yakum knocked it down.
That's it.
So that was good. So, but back to what you were saying, Chris Bell, last game 5 points, this game 0. And like you said, we know he can shoot the ball, and he can't let these games affect him, which I'm hoping it doesn't. And I think we have a great staff over there that make sure the guys are, filled with confidence from the staff, from the teammates. Like, you can't get any more confident with this group because of the staff that we have. But Justin has been struggling. We've seen it for a while. But what he was doing well was he was rebounding well for us. He was doing the other little
Absolutely.
things well for us. You know what I mean? So, again, he had 4 rebounds against Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, didn't shoot the ball like he wanted to, 1 for 3 from 3. But again, you just got to keep shooting the ball. Because like you said, if we play half court style basketball and these guys are not making shots, although I still believe they're not going to be anyone you could really super help off of, the fact that they're not making shots leaves teams that ability to maybe help a little bit more. You know what I mean? But if they're making shots going into ACC play, you cannot sag off even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay real close to them, and that opens up those driving lanes for even a guy like QC to come in off the bench and get those driving lanes and get to the basket. So we got to continue. We can't let it get to us. Those guys, I'm sure they're not. And they got to just keep going. Again, rely on the work. Every time things are going bad, you got to rely on the work, get back in the lab, shoot by yourself. We got state-of-the-art facility. Shout out to Mello and whoever else donated to make that a possibility. But for these guys, to have what they have at that Mello Center, shooting gun, access to 1,000 managers, you feel me, to come rebound if that's what you prefer. There's some guys that prefer a rebounder and a passer than the shooting gun. All right, whatever you like, whatever you need to do, we got it for you over there. You got coaches willing to work with you. So everything is there for you right there at that Mello Center. Just keep putting that work in and you'll be straight.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing at comp is don't JT C Bell. I know I really ain't got to tell you, but JT, I know that sometimes you can second guess it, or if it's not going in, or you turn it, man, go out and shoot that thing. If you got an opportunity and it's a good shot, shoot the ball. You know what I mean?
Flick
Because
at it.
we need you to be a threat on the floor. We can't start having teams sag off and then getting into that driving lane, and now that's fucking up what we really excel at. Getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, and creating opportunities for ourselves and others. So JTC Bell, keep shooting that thing, baby. We need you. And real quick, I want to shout out big fella too. Naheem McLeod. Again, I think people, yeah, he's 7'5". All right. Some people are, they get on him, including me. Shit, we've got on him. All right. He does
Yeah.
has to be more physical. He has to be more active. He has to bring more energy. Those are the things that you can control, and he could do that. But he did have 8 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his job. One thing that he needs to be aware of is, how far he comes away from the rim. You know what I'm saying? I understand if it's a guy who could shoot, and if it is, then you're probably not going to be fucking in the game. That's Malik Brown. That probably should be in the game. But when you are in the game, be that presence around the rim. Be big. You don't got to come outside of that charge. Or just stay right on top of that charge circle right there. For once you start getting up like that, your reaction time isn't fast, and then guys are back cutting from you. That's when you get into lobs. They're throwing it over top of you. Make sure you stay in that area and use that 7'5" frame and just be a big motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's really how you can help us, and then bring energy and run the floor, run down the middle of the floor, because now you're allowing the team to really pay attention. Exactly. And now that's when our shooters come into play. That's when we're knocking shit down, wide open threes. So shout out to Naheem for playing solid, man. I thought he had a solid game, and then obviously the two guys who really run the ship, Judah and JJ. I mean, 18 points, 14 points for JJ. I mean, Judah has to chill out on the turnovers. He has 6 turnovers, but it was really a second half game for those guys. You know what I mean? Those guys came in and in the second half and really imposed their will. Starting with Judah getting downhill and really attacking the basket. And then you saw the same thing from JJ. And obviously he was 2 for 3 from the 3-point line, which we love to see because like you said, Joe, that's just him, becoming more and more confident. And I think if we have these two guys locked in, engaged, playing confidently, playing together, we're gonna be a motherfucking problem for teams, because that's one of the best backcourts, most talented backcourts in the country. And before you talk about it, Joe, I think the one thing that probably more so Judah and JJ as well, but I think just he's naturally a quieter dude. Start taking that leadership role, bro, and really being more vocal out on the court. And I see it, Judah. But even with big fella, hey, big man, we need you to fucking run the floor, big fella. Stay right here. Be vocal and do it in a way to where you building their confidence. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is different in how you talk to them, but that's his next step, yo. Show guys that you can be a leader, and you are that guy who takes control when you going through adversity and the other team's making a run. You know what I'm saying? That's the next step for this guy.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. Them guys are going to be, obviously, I think, early on we saw Judah and C. Bell be the 1-2 punch. And I think now, of course, JJ knocking down shots, he's coming into his own, but him knocking down shots is going to create what he really wants to do, which is drive the ball to the basket and get into that paint, get into that lane. I'd like to see him get to the free throw line a little bit more as well. You know what I mean? So, I like what's going on with them too. That dynamic duo that we believed them to be before the season started, we're seeing it emerge right now, and it's at the right time. Like we mentioned last week, we're on our way. Well, we had two big games in Georgetown, and we had this game right here. Now we have Niagara, but we're headed into the ACC, and this is the best time for them to be, clicking on all cylinders. And I feel like that for the whole team, from the bench to the guys who start. I think everybody's clicking. The staff as well, like like you mentioned, the substitution pattern, even that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is just working well for us right now, and obviously, it might not be a Disney ending every time where we win by 20. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we see what's working for us, right? And we're defending the ball. Obviously, you mentioned the 19 turnovers. If we could to turn the ball over 19 times and still win by 20 is showing something, bro. You know what I'm saying? So not all turnovers are leading to baskets. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Your turnovers can't lead directly to baskets because points off of turnovers are huge. But going into ACC play, I like the way them two guards are looking. You know what I'm saying? The JJ and Judah. I like the way our bench is looking right now. I like how engaged we look these last two games, really. And mind you, although this was a neutral site, I still call them road games at the end of the day, right? You know, those were two road games, and we come back home to play against Niagara tomorrow in front of our home crowd after winning two big ones. I expect a blowout. You know, I hope that they don't come into this game thinking
Facts.
that their shit don't stink. You know, I hope they come in with that same mindset of we got to kill everybody that is placed in front of us. That way we hit the ACC when we play, who was it? We play first Pitt.
Pitt, yep. On the
So when we
road.
play Pitt on the road, and we all know it's not easy to play over there, no matter what's going on, that we go in there and destroy them guys.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. Yeah, just a few minutes left. We got Niagara tomorrow. Like I said earlier, I will be on the game. I'm broadcasting, doing the color commentary 5 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in. ACC Network. Listen to your boy, man. Listen to your boy break it down a little bit. You know, we gonna have some fun with it. And Niagara, Joe, real quick, Niagara's a team who's struggling 3-7. You know, they got Greg Pauls, who's a Syracuse native, as the head coach, and they're led by a freshman. He's averaging like 15 points. Ahmad Henderson, you know, he's a guy that has been leading them. So they're a young team, a lot of transfers, and again, I expect Syracuse to take care of business. All right, here we go. We got some comments from the YouTube. Let's see. Love to hear the real talk from some real dudes. Been a Cuse fan my whole life and always go back to the days from the teams before the ACC. Orange don't get no respect in the league right now, but there is a huge potential to go back to those potential top 25 running the conference days with this team. Let's fucking go, Cuse. Shout out to my guy, A Styles 18, man. We appreciate that comment, man. And shit, I agree. Joe, you want to hit this next one?
Ooh, yes, sir. Shout out to the YMCA 2020. What is it? 220. Best SU basketball
220.
show because both guys get the orange and understand hoops exceptionally well. I appreciate you. The YMCA 220. What we got here? Carl
Okay.
Mintz. Okay, that sounds
Carl Mitch,
familiar.
shout out Carl, man, holding it down. Great show, guys. I'm starting to be a regular viewer. Hold on, let me see. All right. Keep up the great work, great analysis. Some player would be interesting to see Judah, JJ, and Q on the floor at the same time. Yeah, man. You know what? We got a lot of options with the versatility that we have, and those three guys right there have been playing some extremely extremely good basketball. So, shout out to all our comments and everybody locked in and real. See, Mitch, shout you out, man. You know it's all love over here, baby. And before we go, man, I just want to make sure. I need to make a trip up to Flintstone. That's what we've been trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Beware of the edibles. You don't want to be high for 3 days away. If you on Christmas and it's a break, shit, you take those 3 days to go ahead and chill, man. Shout out again to Flintstone Cannabis Company being our sponsor. We really appreciate you, man, showing love. So go down there this Christmas break and get you some goodies. Chill with the fam. Relax. And again, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Niagara. Cuse taking care of business. And Joe, man, what you got? Because shit, that's all. Look, man, I hope everybody has a happy holiday and a great Christmas. We're gonna be back next Wednesday, chopping it up. But again, my guy Chris Joe, have a great Christmas with baby girl and the fam.
I appreciate
and we'll be back
you,
here next Wednesday, baby.
Yes, sir. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, baby. We out.